Alright, boys and girls, welcome to part 2. Okay, so we had to throw this together quick just because we had some technical issues. So we had a few questions on the last video that I thought I'd just go over real quick here. And what that is what are the main areas that you should be definitely watching for preventive maintenance type deal, the most common areas to break. There's quite a few actually, and if you watch, I mean, this truck's not that old, and you can see these brackets are all rusting already, okay? And they're not supposed to be, but they are. So this is a big one right here, is by your turbo hose clamps and whatnot. Any kind of clamp that you see, all right, are areas to really keep an eye out that, you know, they get overly rusted. Feel them, try to move them. You know, get a hold of them if there's any kind of weakness in them, especially the bigger clamps, the spring clamps. You know, the ones on your any major hose, especially these big spring-loaded clamps for your turbo hose. They can leave you stranded in a hurry. That's a big one. Any kind of clamp for liquid, okay? Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on your hoses for the clamps actually breaking through the hose itself, okay, because of over time they'll wear. So that's one you definitely want to keep an eye out on. Also, ouch, that's warm. Okay, the belts. Like I said before, the fraying on the edge will give you an indication that there's an issue with one of the pulleys, or your tensioner has got some issues, okay? So you want to keep an eye out on that. Especially the fraying, because a belt lets go in the middle of the highway and you knew that belt was frayed, you are going to have some issues, and you don't want to be stranded out in the middle of nowhere, right? Okay, again, like I said, the hoses are the big things. Everything else really is kind of mechanical, so it makes it a little bit hard to judge as to what you're going to do with it. I'll just go around this side here. Okay, again, airlines. The other one, big one, is chafing. Now, these zip ties aren't very tight, so anywhere on the truck when you're going through your pre-trips, the airlines, look for any kind of chafing marks. Could wear through the airline really quick and could cause you problems. You can see these hoses, like, again, this truck's not that old. They're all rusting already, so you want to keep an eye out on all your fittings. Okay, that's the big one, is the fittings. All right, so, and you can see here again, it's rusting. Not that it's going to break right now, but keep an eye out on it. Another area, and I can see it here through here. I don't know how well you can see it, the corrosion that's coming through at the end of that plug. So it's something I'm going to have checked. That's actually the big positive going into the alternator. So there's not an issue right now, but it could break off, which could cause problems, so that needs to be checked and cleaned. So next time I'm in the shop, I'm actually going to get that checked. I hadn't noticed it up until just now, actually. So, see, there you go. Good thing for the video, right? Again, on this side, you can see the belt quite clearly. What you do is you basically, and I didn't do it because of the video, it would have been too noisy, but you basically run the truck, let the engine run for a little bit too, and you can watch the alignment of the pulleys. If the pulley is, or the belt is running more to one side than the other, like on the edge, then it could be an alignment issue for that, okay? All right, so we're back in the truck here real quick. Just one final note, and that is on the filling of the oil. I had mentioned in the last video that I wait until it gets to the bare minimum. To me, the bare minimum is the add line. The manufacturer puts that add line there for a reason, okay? And of course, in the last video, we had someone who claimed to be a mechanic and continued to tell me how wrong I was in doing that and how bad it was for the motor. Wrong. The manufacturer puts that add line there for a reason. First off, think of how many gallons it takes to fill that crankcase to begin with, okay? Now, when the oil gets down to that add line, you can put safely in 1 gallon of oil, and it will fill it, okay? For the most part, and you don't have to worry about overfilling it. A lot of times, guys, it'll get down a quarter, halfway between the two, and guys will throw oil in, but they're not 100% sure how much oil to put in, and some have a tendency to overfill it. Now, overfilling it is not necessarily good for it either. So if you wait until it gets to the add mark, and this is where I talk about getting to know your engines, once it gets to that add mark, you can safely put 1 gallon of oil in. It will fit no problem. And there you go. That's it. That's all for today's video, guys. Sorry it's a little short. We had a little technical difficulties with the previous other video that I had ready. Didn't work, so I had to throw this one together last second. I hope it was helpful for you guys that asked those questions. We'll talk to you in the next video.